The moment I stopped making compost and started burying old leaves and plant leftovers directly in my balcony pots, my soil became richer, darker, and more alive than it had ever been. Composting sounds right in theory, but for balcony gardening, it is often unnecessary work. You have to collect scraps, you have to turn piles, you have to manage moisture, you have to wait for months. And even when everything is done correctly, a large portion of nutrients is still lost as heat and gas during decomposition. The compost pile works hard, but the soil in containers only receives what is left behind. That is the opposite of how nature works. In nature, leaves fall where they grow, and they decompose right there. Nothing is transported, nothing is flipped, nothing is micromanaged. Soil organisms work in place, at their own pace, preserving nutrients instead of burning them off. The real problem with balcony soil. Container soil has a major weakness. It is reused again and again. It contains very little life. It compacts easily. Water drains quickly, but nutrients do not stay. After a few harvests, the soil may still look fine on the surface, but inside it is slowly dying. Most people think the solution is more fertilizer or brand new soil. But what balcony soil really lacks is not nutrients. It lacks a living cycle. What I started doing differently. After each harvest, I had old leaves, yellowing leaves, soft stems, small roots left behind. Instead of throwing them away, I chopped them roughly and buried them directly in the same pot. I did not dig deep. I did not turn the whole container. I simply pulled soil aside, placed the organic material underneath, covered it back with soil, watered lightly. That was it. No waiting, no pre-composting, no finished compost. This is not neglect. Some people think burying organic waste will contaminate the soil. In reality, the opposite is true. Soil life thrives on fresh inputs. Bacteria feed on sugars. Fungi feed on cellulose and lignin. Worms, if present, feed on softened plant matter and on microbes themselves. Composting delays this process by pre-digesting everything in a pile. By the time compost reaches the pot, much of its biological energy is already gone. Fresh buried material activates the soil immediately. What I bury in balcony pots. In my balcony garden, I bury old leaves after harvest, soft stems, small roots, limited kitchen scraps like vegetable peels and leafy waste. I avoid salty food, oils and grease, meat and fish, hard woody material. I do not shred finely. I do not mix thoroughly. I simply cover everything with soil to prevent smell and insects. What happens inside the pot? Once organic material is buried, moisture becomes more stable, microbial activity increases, soil softens from the inside. Within a few weeks, I notice darker soil color, no foul smell, stronger new root growth, water soaking in evenly instead of running straight through. Decomposition happens exactly at root depth. Nutrients are released slowly without leaching, without sudden spikes. Plants do not grow aggressively, but they grow steadier and stronger. Why this works so well for balconies. Containers dry out quickly. They lose nutrients easily. They lack natural soil ecosystems. Burying organic matter feeds soil life continuously, improves moisture retention, reduces dependence on liquid fertilizers. The soil does not need to be replaced. It rebuilds itself over time. No digging, no damaging fungi. Digging breaks fungal networks that move nutrients between soil particles and plant roots. When container soil is left undisturbed, these networks expand. Burying organic matter feeds fungi, supports microbes, preserves soil structure. Healthy soil is built from the inside outward. Living roots build living soil. When plants are harvested regularly, their roots continue feeding soil organisms. As roots die back, they become organic matter right inside the pot. Soil improves from both directions. Living roots create living soil. Final thoughts. Compost is a product. Burying organic matter in pots is an ongoing process. One ends when the pile is empty. The other never stops working. The goal is not to make compost. The goal is to feed soil life. Once that becomes clear, effort decreases while results increase. Lazy gardening is not careless. It is informed. If composting feels exhausting, it may simply be the wrong approach for a balcony garden. Container soil does not need perfection. It needs consistent feeding and protection.